Yeah, I use Discord. So see, so the video is on. There you go.
Yeah, yeah, I
Can you
can
see
see
me
you.
now?
Yeah, yeah, I can see you.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming in and doing this. So, for all of those that don't know, first introduction to you, why don't you go ahead and just give a little bit about your background and kind of what you did and how you got to where you are?
Yeah. So my name is Sandeep Srivastava, and I'm running to represent you in Congressional District 3 in Texas, which is mostly Collin County and Hunt County. I'm a first generation immigrant. I came to this country 25 years back, and with my hard work, luck, I lived the American dream. So I want everybody should also get privilege to live the American dream. Whereas my opponents, they think like the immigrants are enemy of our country.
Right. And where did you come from?
I'm from India. I came from India, and I born and brought up in a city called Lucknow in India. I'm from there, and so that's all. Like my opponent thinks the immigrants are enemy of this country, but what I feel like this country is immigrants' country. Some people came 200 years back. Some people are coming now,
Yeah. So,
and
one interesting thing about you, speaking of immigrants in this country, is you were involved with the community for pretty much your whole life, right? I mean, you were doing community service back in India, and then you also did a couple of things when you got here before the politics. And I'm talking about just healthcare and providing medical services. And I think you were uh, professionally in IT and also had some businesses, right? So you've been involved with the community way before all of this.
yes, I do, and because from my childhood, I have always learned to give back to the community, and that's what I am trying. Whatever in my capacity, I can give back to the community. I can. So that's why, like, I was part of a lot of not non-profit organizations. We used to hold. I mean, still we are doing every year free medical camps, as well as like when I was part of Dallas, in Lions Club in Dallas also, and there I started the eye glasses program. So we were doing the eye free eye clinics in South Dallas areas, and what I told everyone and me, and still we do, like whenever we go to somebody's house or a meeting, we ask them, if you have any old glasses with you, give it to us. So we collected those old glasses, and then once or twice a year, we distribute it through eye clinic to the homeless or needy people who cannot afford to buy the glasses under supervision of eye doctors. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm just curious, how do you get the word out, for people that are looking for those types of medical services? How like homeless people, right? Do you just go on site and hand them out
Yeah,
or?
yeah. I mean, you won't believe Lions Club has tons of volunteers.
Hmm.
We usually go them, we distribute the flyers, we tell them this is the place we are doing, and you won't believe there are so many people. And once the word of mouth is there, then they know, okay, this is every year going, so they come.
They come, yeah. Sandeep, can you turn your mic up a little bit or maybe move closer to the mic? You're just a little
Okay.
low on volume, just a little bit.
How about now?
That's a lot better. Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Okay.
Okay. So, I guess one thing you said is your opponents are against immigration. We'll get to the policy the second half of this interview, but I guess where does that come from, you think? Where does that fear come from where, it's obvious that we have a lot of immigrants coming to this country and a lot of them do great things. They start businesses, they run for political office. Where's that fear come from, you think?
I think this is not a fear. This is just election gimmicks the other side is
Mm,
playing around. And if you ask them, like 200 years back, their forefathers came as an immigrant to this country. I mean, we all are immigrant and we all contribute to. our society, our country. We all love our country. We all want to work, and that is why, like, it is very, very important. Like, people should come forward. Don't get afraid. Like, I mean, it's not like this is a rule of law. It is
Right.
in America, yeah. Don't get fear from these kind of things. And if anybody has any issues, they can contact us or perhaps we are there to help them. And in fact, I believe the other part, they want to build walls, and
Mhm.
I believe in building the bridges instead of walls.
Right. Yeah. Especially in
Yeah.
Texas, right? We need that.
No, everywhere. Like that's why I tell everyone, we all came from different boats to
Right.
this country, but now we are in one ship. So we have to work with each other, work for each other.
Got it. So, um, the people coming out to vote this time around, some of them are going to be first time voters. You were talking about your opponent. So, how does it work? How many people are you actually going up against for this congressional?
I mean, usually every congressional district is based on around 600 to 800,000 votes.
Hmm.
So these are the total number of voters. So, and you won't believe, like in my district, like if you count, we have upper hand, Democrats have upper hand in the voter registration. Like we have more registered voters in this county. But the problem is people don't go out and vote.
Right. Right.
If you're
So,
not voting, that means you are voting for
right.
uh, opponent. Yeah,
Right. Correct. So, uh, this is November, right? Is going to be the actual voting day in
yeah.
November?
November 5th is the election day, but the
Hmm.
early voting is going to start from 21st of October.
Okay, and we'll give everybody the information on how to go out and do it, where they can do it, what day, what time at the end. So let's just get to some of your policy. I know you campaign on immigration is huge, which we talked about, medical services, which you've done throughout your life, providing care for people. What do you feel are kind of the biggest issues right now that are relevant to the population? I know yesterday we were kind of talking about the women's rights, but what's kind of on the top of your ticket right now that you want to
See,
focus on?
see, right now, not only me, for every household, is the cost of living is a major issue. The rising in cost of living, whether you take it from housing to groceries, families are struggling, and that's what we have to work on. And I'm committed to putting forward the policies that lower the cost of living, making it easier for every family to afford the essentials without breaking their bank balances. We must bring common sense solution to Washington that put people first,
Right.
not Elon Musk first.
Yeah, I think that's probably the day to day. That's the biggest topic on people's mind is
Every
when they can't
household has
afford
the same problem. Even me, you, everybody
everybody. Yeah.
facing this. Because this, to me, this is the major issue, which will help every family.
Yeah.
Then,
I was reading an article the other day about how CEOs, executives, if you just look at the last 25 years, it's like their salaries have increased exponentially, right? The cost of goods has increased exponentially, but the worker's wage has remained really almost the same in the last, quarter century, which is crazy. So you're talking about making things more affordable or maybe providing more for workers. Do you have a specific way to do that or maybe an idea on how to get that done?
I mean, these kind of things are not going to happen in day one or day two, but we can start taking the measures like uh, putting more efforts in economy and
Hmm.
trying to get more things manufactured in America so that the shipping costs and all those things can be lower, or buying the things from other places also. They are now world is open, like there are a lot of countries other than China where you can buy the cheaper stuffs, and so we have to see what They are always, and then the second part is the most important is the taxation.
Right.
We should give more benefits to working class families for the taxation. They should get fair share from the taxation. It's not like if you see the billionaires, millionaires, they are paying 5%, 10% taxes. How can that be possible?
Right. And a
But
business owner, is paying
yeah,
thirty
I mean,
percent or
yeah,
whatever it is, right?
yeah, and a working class person, whether on W-2 or 1099 or whatever, they are paying the max taxes. So we have to see how we can solve this issue, and then provide more employment opportunities for the working class family. So right now, if one person is working in one family, if two people are working, the cost of living will be
Right. Can be more manageable.
more
Got it.
manageable.
Okay.
Yes.
And then let's move to women's rights. It feels like nowadays that's a very important topic for people. And when we say women's rights, what are we talking about exactly? What does Sandeep, include in the women's rights category?
So for me, defending women rights is not just protecting the reproductive rights for them, but equal pay and combating the discrimination at the workplaces for the women. I will fight to uphold the rights of women in every sphere of life. This isn't just a women issue, it is a human rights issue. And I will stand firmly in support of equality and justice for all.
Got it.
So it's
Yeah.
a workplace or their reproductive rights or
Yeah, the
uh,
reproductive rights always kind of made me think. It's just I think was it last year when they did the reproductive rights right now, is that on the state level or on the federal? Do you know?
no. Right now, every state has their different.
Okay, so every state can call how they want to manage
Yes,
the abortion topic and all that.
yes. So
Yeah.
that is what we have to fix it. If suppose this time we win the White House, we get majority in Congress and Senate,
Hmm.
we can pass a federal law. Then states will not have any power to do anything for
Right.
them. And
Yeah.
this is weird. Like, I mean, you can see the young ladies, women, they don't want to live in Texas. They are moving out of state because they feel
Yeah, I think the weirdest thing for me was, when a woman can't get an abortion after, a sexual assault or something like that, right?
yeah,
And
that is
that
ridiculous.
just that just blows my mind how even if you're against abortion, there should be some type of clause where you can, make an exception for those types of instances, right? So I was just like bewildered when they said even
See,
that is illegal, right? That's crazy.
any sensible person, nobody want to kill or do abortion just for fun. There
Correct.
are circumstances where it is needed,
Right.
where if somebody accidentally, some couple have get pregnant and they cannot afford that child.
Right. I think a lot of it is, and we won't get into this in this podcast, but I think a lot of it is trying to figure out when is, a baby, when is it a live, conscious human being? And
Exactly.
people argue about that so often. Sometimes you feel like it is just, a political game, which coming back to what you were talking about earlier with the immigration kind of being just a political game.
It's just a political game. Just trying to divert that direction of people so that you don't think of.
Right.
I mean, one thing: the pregnancy is not just women. Like it's a men and women both are involved. In it. So
Correct.
why alone women is getting punished for that?
Right. And
Why
why is the
not
state
men?
involved? Why
No,
is the
I
state
I mean,
involved?
state and Supreme Court and website does not have any right to interfere in somebody's personal space.
Correct.
I'll give you just one small example. You go to DMV, apply for driver license. In the form, it says you want to be an organ donor.
Right.
18 or 16-year-old has that kind of freedom. With he or she can use that, but a woman does not have control on her body what she want to do. So this is
That's a good
Let
way to
them
put
and
it.
their doctor decide what is good for them.
That's a
We
good way
have
to put it.
no business to interfere.
So let's move on to just on a very local level. Um, so I have a South Asian background as well. And one of the things I feel is the most difficult is to get at least my friends motivated to go out and vote, right? Everybody's for the issues, everybody has a candidate, everybody loves or hates a candidate. But when it comes time to vote, they're either, man, I had a long night last night, or, oh, I worked so hard yesterday, I can't get up in the morning and go. Um, so I don't know what it is, but what do you think would motivate people? And I'm talking about people that are new to this, right? Younger people. I mean, my parents, my uncles, my aunts, they all go, they vote every year. But what would you say is a motivating factor for new voters to go out?
Yeah, I mean, I always tell everyone, vote for yourself. Mean to you and your family. If you can talk, you are not satisfied for some policies or something, you talk in between your friend, family, or in gathering. That is not going to solve your issues. If you want to solve the issues, go out and vote and make whomsoever you are voting, make them responsible that yes, I'm voting for you because of this reason, and I will keep on checking and see what you are doing for me. See, this is the time. This election is historically a very, very important election. And if we don't vote, that means we are accepting whatever situation we will get. Don't let 5%, 10% people decide your future. You decide your future. You decide your family future.
Like you said, these elections are getting, there's more at stake. And with everything going on right now with the presidential election, I think a lot of people are getting motivated as they were 4 years ago, right? So these elections are becoming more high stakes. And you're seeing that on a local county level as well. Um, where do you think the next 3, 4, 5 years are headed as a country, right? Because we're seeing the temperatures rise so high, um, even on a nationwide level. I think a lot of people are maybe fed up. They're fed up and they've lost hope. The other option or the other extreme is they're so angry. They want their voice to be heard. And when those two opposites meet, you pretty much have the beaten down and the people that are doing the beating, right? Um, and I think we've haven't seen that maybe in a really long time, if ever. So the stakes are high. Where do you see it going from here?
Yeah, stakes are high. Our future is in big danger. I mean, if Trump gets elected, who knows? This will be our last election. And think of like, especially the immigrants, black and brown people. For them, I don't know what will happen in future. But
Right.
on the other side, we have a hope, a 60-year-old female. And as we know, a female has always a big heart and they know how to care for everyone.
Yeah,
And
with Kamala, I don't really know too much about Kamala. I think she's saying the right thing. She's definitely feeding off the energy. She has that positive energy, that high energy. Tim Walz has the same. With Trump, the comment about the last election, again, do you feel like that's a realistic? Because people were saying that, 4 years ago, right, when um, Biden was running, and they said, "Oh, he's never going to give up the seat. He's never going to give up power." But eventually, America moved on, and he did, and now he's running again. So, how much of that is fear? How much of that is real? Because when it comes down to it, he's not going to give up power. This is going to be the last election. I don't know if I believe that 100%. I think that I did at one point 4 years
He
ago.
spoke in last weekend at a Florida rally.
Hmm.
Christians, vote for me, and I make sure this is the last time you are voting. I mean, he said like, I
Right.
mean, everybody knows when he speaks, he will do something. That's
Right.
why Republican or his campaign team does not want him to come to the debate or speak more.
Right. Right.
Yeah, but again, I'm not going into my
Yeah, that could be a whole
opinion.
different,
Yeah,
conversation, right? That's something else.
I'm going into what we can bring for you,
Right.
what we can do for you.
Right.
I mean, our Democrats are always for the working class people.
Correct.
We are always wanted affordable healthcare for everyone because, in fact, I believe healthcare is the right, not a privilege. Everybody should have right to for the healthcare. Then again, there's another big thing is education, college education. It's so getting every year. It's getting so costly. How can a common working class person, a man, family student can go to the
They
college?
can't.
No, we. So that's why I'm saying
Right.
we have to come up. And in fact, with my team, because education is so important. I know because of education, I am sitting here. If I was not educated, I could not have come to this country.
Right.
So education is so important. So that's why what I created, I called because this bill I'm going to present it. I am getting ready with
Yeah,
it.
let's talk about the bill. Let's talk about the
Yeah.
bill. Yeah.
So this bill I named it as FREE, FREE. So that means Federal Rural Education and Economic Development. So what will happen? Talented kids who cannot afford the college from federal will sponsor their college education, but in return they have to work 5 years, first 5 years of their service in the rural areas. So in that way, what will happen? We will develop the rural areas as well as these once these talented students will get a college education. Also, they will become doctors, they will become engineers, they will become nursing staff or IT or whatever.
Hmm.
And then once they in rural areas, why companies or businesses are not investing in rural areas? Because they don't get a manpower over there.
Is there a
So
specific program for the students? Like, for instance,
no, there
is
is
a
no program.
doctor, engineer?
No, I'm going to do any like you see, we have that kind of program like for army, navy, and other
Correct.
thing.
Right. You
Okay,
work for the military
where
after
you
you
have to serve.
graduate.
So same thing we can do for the civil things also. Like whether you become doctor, you become engineer, you become architect, you become whatever, scientist or anything. But 5 years you have to spend. So what will happen when you have manpower available in the rural areas? What the companies are going to do? They will start their operations in the rural area. It will benefit companies also because in Dallas, the real estate and going to Hunt County in Greenville or Commerce area, the real estate is entirely different. So, and then what will happen? These rural areas will also start getting developed. So it will hit many birds with one stone. And education is backbone of any society. We all know. So we have to invest in education, in the STEM education like science, technology, engineering, those kind of education.
Right.
So that is another thing. And the major thing which I don't like personally, decrease the foreign aid for the wars for the foreign countries.
Yeah, I think we
Why
just saw
we
that there's
want
like a
to
$1 billion
unnecessarily,
package sent to Israel just
yeah,
2 days ago, right?
yeah, why spend that money in our healthcare? When we talk about affordable healthcare, the other side are where you will get the money. This is the one place you can get the money.
Right.
Why we should encourage wars? We should encourage ceasefire. We should get the both side on sit on the table and work on the two-state solution. War is not a solution for anything.
No, it's not, but it makes a lot of people money, right?
So again, that's what I'm. You have to think. You want to live for money, or you want to live
Right.
for them?
Right.
Amen.
Yeah, the military spending is crazy, crazy. Just to I literally I think it was yesterday or the day before they passed a
I mean,
$2 billion
I,
package for weapons.
I know we must remain a leader on the global stage.
Right.
That does not mean we have to support the wars. No, we have to bring all parties on a table and draw a conclusion. Okay, this is this. Both parties have to agree, and no more war. Live.
So one thing I keep hearing from, the red side is, ooh, give me one moment here. One thing I keep hearing is, when Trump was president, there were no wars, there was no this, there was no that. Again, I'm not as politically educated or well versed as some other people, but A, is that true? And then B, if it is, why do you think that is? Or was that just a fluke?
No, I think it's just. But if you see the biggest war, what America's done during the Bush era,
Iraq, yeah.
Iraq war or this and Afghanistan war, everything was during that era.
Right,
Obama has to carry that. He didn't instigate any new war. Joe Biden didn't do anything.
right.
We try to we try to minimize and try to bring our forces back home.
Right. Right. Yep. Yep. So I think, again, I ask these questions not to put anybody on the spot. It's just I'm curious, right? So
No,
because you,
it-
and this is the problem, Sandeep, is like people, hear so many things like this from all sides, and they're always trying to figure out like what's true, what's not. Some people dive deeper into it to learn, right? And talk to people like you and then some people just give up and sit at home and don't do anything. And I think that's the worst mistake, you can make and you as the voter, right? Can make. So you have to learn and kind of figure out what's going on. So that's why we do these.
no,
Is
definitely, and that's why I said everyone. I will be the congressman for all.
Yeah.
I'm running on a democratic ticket, but once I'm elected, I'm a congressman for everyone, whether he Democrats, Republicans, or Independents,
Right.
and I will work with everybody to solve their problems and issues.
Well, I think the fact of the matter is, you've always been a servant to your community, whether here in India, I think wherever you've been, you've done some good things. I think you have the track record for that. And I think you're going to do great things. You continue to do that. And for people that don't know, we can have another podcast like this talking about more of the business side, because I know a lot of people are entrepreneurial minded, the younger folks they want to start up their own businesses, they want to do great things, and I know you've done that from real estate to IT, to even your community work. So maybe we can do something in the future about that. But is there anything else you want to touch on before we wrap up?
No, I mean, I can only say, yeah, just spread the word and remember 21st of October.
Votes on
Don't wait
deep,
for
right?
November 5th. Come on, next 5 days, 21st, 22nd, 23rd. Do your job, sit home for a good future.
Okay, and then share with everybody the website. I know it's up there, but just share where
Yeah,
everyone can find you and look you up.
yeah. So my website is sandeepforcongress.com, and Facebook, you can go Sandeep for Congress, Insta, Sandeep for Congress, and just go and visit my website. If you have any questions, anything, you can email us, you can call, leave voicemail, we will get back to you. And again, I'm one of you, running for you. Help me, whatever way you can help. We need volunteers, we need money, donations. So you can go to my website, you can donate whatever you feel like, and and I can tell you, every dollar matters. Same way, every vote matters, because you know what is the truth. How I can defeat my opponent? If I get one more vote than him, I can defeat him. So that one more vote is you.
There
So
you go.
please come and vote for me.
There you go. So everybody, you could find Sandeep at sandeepforcongress.com. And Sandeep, I appreciate your time and thanks for coming on, bud. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate, and I would love to have some other time also.
Yeah, we'll keep
Let
it
me know.
going. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you very
Bye,
much. Bye.
everybody.